Okay, we're going to look at solving log equations. So to solve each equation for x, when we have it in this form like this, we want to change it to exponential form. And so we read this starting off with the base, always starting off with the base here, 7. Remember that a logarithm represents an exponent. So 7 is the base, 2 is the exponent, and then that's going to be equal to the argument. So always start with the base, raise the base to the exponent, and then that's going to be equal to the argument. So here we know that x is equal to 49. Okay, so here we have x as the base, raised to the exponent, which is 3/2, and that's going to be equal to 27. So basically we want to get rid of the 3/2 exponent here. So if you want to cancel out an exponent, you just raise it to the reciprocal, and so do that on both sides. Okay, so we know that when we have a exponent raised to an exponent, we multiply, and 3/2 times 2/3 is 1. So x is going to be equal to 27 to the 2/3 power. So the easiest way to do this is to do the root first. So the third root of 27 is 3. Remember, because 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. So the third root of 27 is 3. And then 3 squared is 9. So x equals 9. All right, number 3, we have our base raised to our power, and that's going to be equal to our argument. So we know that x to the 0 power is 1, and that does not equal 2, so we have no solution. No solution. The x got canceled out, and these do not equal each other, so we have no solution. Okay, number 4. I'll check that one. You guys do that one on your own. Set it up and solve it. Okay, turn your paper over. Let's keep moving. Okay, starting off with your base, 2 raised to the 4th power equals our argument, which is x minus 9 in this case. So 2 to the 4th power, 16, because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals 16. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. So 2 to the 4th power is 16, and we get x equals 25. All right, so far so good. All right, so on this case, notice that it's changed. The formatting is changed. Look at the previous ones. The previous ones we had log base 2 of something equals something. That was the format. But here we have some adding, some multiplying going on. So before we can change to exponential form, we need to undo these things here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this 15. We're going to undo the 15. So let's see what we have. Okay, then we're going to undo this multiplication with division. All right, now we have it in the form so that we can change it to exponential. So now we can change it to exponential. There's nothing being added or multiplied or anything over here. So 2 raised to the 5th equals x. And that's going to give us 32. Okay, here we go. Notice we have a log on both sides. Well, that's definitely not what we want, right? Okay, because in order to change forms, we need to have the log on the left and then the answer on the right. So we got a little moving around to do. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cancel this out, this whole term. So I'm going to add log base 8 of x over here, and we'll add it on over here as well. So we end up with log base 8 of 4 plus log base 8 of x, okay, minus 2 equals 0. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and move the number over, because the formatting, remember, is we're trying to get it to look something like this. We're trying to condense it down to one log, and we're trying to get it to equal a number or an expression. Okay, so we can move the 2 over by canceling it out. And then we can go ahead and condense this using the laws of logarithms. Do you remember, what do we do with arguments when we add? Right, we multiply. And the bases are the same, so no problems there. So 4 times x is 4x, okay, equals 2. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and, now that we have it in the form that we want it in, we can change it to exponential. So starting with the base, okay, raised to the exponent, equals, and then the argument goes here. So we're going to end up with 64 equals 4x, divide by 4, okay, x is going to be equal to, 4 goes into 6 once, 2 left over, 24, 6 times. So x equals 16. Something to keep in mind, I'm going to bring up right now, is that when you do get an answer, you should really plug it back in for x. We want to make sure that it's a positive argument. Remember that the base and the argument, they have to be positive numbers, okay, if you'll remember from the definition. Okay, number 8. See, this is so much fun, guys, because it's like a puzzle, and I like challenges. And anyway, taking up time. Let's keep going. Lots of fun. So we're going to do some manipulating, moving things around. I want my logs on the same side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start by canceling this one out over here. There is something else I could do right away that I just thought about, but you know, we'll do it a little bit later. I'm going to cancel it out on the right, move it over here. Oops. Okay, so and then I'm going to go ahead and cancel this out on the left and move that one over here. Because remember, we want the number alone, or an expression alone, on the right, and then we want the log condensed into one on the left. So we have 2 minus equals 2. So before we condense, okay, before we change subtraction to division, we should really move, and you need to move these numbers up on top. Now, here's what I was talking about earlier. Notice this is times 2, this log is times 2, and we also have a 2 over here. If we would like to, we could just divide everything by 2. Okay? But let's just go ahead and move the 2 up. So we have log of 8 squared. And then let's do the division and move the 2 up. Equals 2. And I made a mistake, and this mistake is a mistake that was made on the quiz. And so, I can understand why we would make this mistake. It's early in the morning, or we just wasn't thinking right. But remember, we're condensing, okay? So we're condensing 2 logs into 1, okay? So this was a mistake, okay? 2 logs into 1. So now, kind of a mess. 4 is our base exponent, and then we have 64 over x squared. So we have 16 over 1, cross multiplying, 16 times x squared equals 64. Get rid of that 16, so x squared equals 4. Since we are solving, guys, don't forget when you take the square root, okay, your answer has to be plus and minus 2 when solving. When simplifying, you can just say the square root of 4 is 2. But when solving, there's 2 answers here, plus and minus 2. Now, this problem would have been a little bit easier if we probably had divided everything by 2 back here, not the argument. Okay, so that would have given us, if we had done that route, okay, 8 over x equals 1. Okay, and I think we're going to come up with an issue here. Actually, we're not. It actually brings up another very important thing. 4 to the first power is equal to 8 over x. Okay, 4x cross multiplying equals 8. X equals 2. So remember what I had said earlier. I put plus and minus 2, but remember an argument cannot be what? Negative, right? So the negative 2 portion of this doesn't count. It's extraneous because you can't have a negative argument. So actually by dividing everything by 2 and then solving it, we get the one answer of x equals positive 2. And that's the only answer that works. So x equals positive 2. All right, see you guys in class. Hope you guys are doing well on your STAR testing if you are testing.